Uncover the hidden truths. Paternity fraud and family secrets exposed. Subscribe now for new DNA stories every week. Like and support our channel to reveal more.
I didn't take the DNA. I didn't take the DNA test because I suspected anything. That's the part that still haunts me. If I had been suspicious, if I had found messages, or caught her in a lie, or felt that cold shift in the room when someone is hiding something, maybe it would have hurt less. But I wasn't suspicious. I was happy. 12 years of marriage. 3 kids. A house with a white fence that I painted myself. Family barbecues every Sunday. If you had asked me who I trusted most in the world, I would have said my wife without hesitation. I took the DNA test because of a joke. We were at a 4th of July cookout. My friend Darren had had a few beers and was watching my youngest run across the yard. "He's fast," Darren said, laughing. "Doesn't look anything like you, though." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. But later that night, when we were cleaning up, I looked at my son differently. He had blonde hair. I have dark hair. My wife, Emily, has light brown. Genetics are weird, I told myself. Still, the comment replayed in my head. It wasn't suspicion. It was curiosity. 2 weeks later, an ad popped up while I was scrolling online. Find out your ancestry. Discover your DNA story. It felt harmless. I ordered a kit. I didn't even tell Emily, not because I was hiding it, just because it felt trivial. Something to do for fun. I swabbed my cheek in the bathroom one morning before work and mailed it off. And then I forgot about it. Life continued. Soccer practice, school meetings, Emily planning our anniversary dinner. Everything was normal. Until the email arrived. The subject line read, "Your DNA results are ready." I was at my office desk. It was a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic about it. I remember thinking, this will be interesting. I clicked. The ancestry breakdown loaded first. Percentages, regions, nothing unusual. Then there was a tab labeled DNA Matches. Curious, I clicked it. A message popped up. Based on your DNA, we are unable to identify a parent-child match. I frowned. That didn't make sense. I refreshed the page. Same message. I looked closer. Beneath it was a smaller line. Probability of paternity. 0%. I stared at that number for a long time. 0%. That's not a low number. It's not uncertain. It's not ambiguous. It's absolute. My first thought wasn't that Emily cheated. It was that the lab had made a mistake. I checked the names. The child listed was my youngest. I felt my chest tighten. I closed the laptop. Then I opened it again. Still there. 0%. My hands were shaking. I called the company's customer support line. Calm voice, rehearsed script. They explained that results are highly accurate. False negatives are extremely rare. I told them there must have been a mix-up. They asked if I wanted to order a confirmation test. I did. That night, I didn't say anything. I watched my son eat dinner. He spilled juice. He laughed at something his sister said. He called me Dad, and I felt something inside me crack, not because I believed it yet, but because a tiny part of me was afraid it might be true. The second test took 10 days. 10 days of pretending everything was normal. Emily noticed I was quiet. "Work stress?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. I hated how easily the lie came. When the second email arrived, I didn't open it immediately. I drove to a parking lot near a grocery store, sat there with the engine off. Then I opened it. Probability of paternity, 0%. Again, there was no mistake. My youngest son wasn't biologically mine. I remember looking at my hands on the steering wheel and thinking, these hands have held him since the day he was born. I cut the cord. I was in the delivery room. How could this be 0%? I didn't confront Emily that night. Instead, I did something I still struggle to explain. I ordered tests for my other 2 children. Maybe it was irrational. Maybe I was panicking. But once doubt enters your mind, it spreads. If one child isn't yours, you start asking impossible questions. Waiting for those results was worse. I barely slept. I started replaying the past in my head. There were no obvious signs, no secretive texting, no unexplained absences, no sudden personality changes. Our marriage wasn't perfect. Whose is? But it wasn't broken. Or at least, I didn't think it was. When the third email came in, I already felt hollow. I opened it immediately this time. First child. 0%. I felt the air leave my lungs. Second child. 0%. I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because my brain couldn't process the alternative. All 3. All 3 children. None of them were biologically mine. 12 years of fatherhood. 0%. I sat there in silence for a long time. Then I threw up. That night, I printed the results. I laid them out on the kitchen table after the kids went to bed. Emily walked in from the laundry room. She saw the papers. She saw the papers. She froze. And in that moment, before she said a word, I knew. There's a look people get when they realize the secret is over. Not shock, not confusion. Resignation. "Tell me it's wrong," I said. She didn't sit down. She didn't deny it. She just whispered, "You weren't supposed to do that." That sentence hurt more than the results. Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "I can explain." Not, "It's not what you think." You weren't supposed to find out. My voice sounded unfamiliar when I asked, "How many?" She started crying then. And that's when I understood something worse. She didn't know. There wasn't one man. There were 2, maybe 3, over the course of our marriage. She said it started during a rough patch after our first child was born. She felt distant, unseen, overwhelmed. One night turned into a few months. It ended. Then, years later, it happened again with someone else. She said she always thought at least one of the kids was mine. She convinced herself of it. She said she believed it so strongly that it became truth in her mind. Until I printed those papers. The next part is what people always ask me about. Did you leave? I didn't. Not that night. I went upstairs. I sat in the hallway outside my kids' bedrooms. I listened to them breathe. I tried to imagine walking away. But biology is only part of fatherhood. Memories don't disappear because of a lab result. the first steps I witnessed, the fevers I stayed up through, the way my daughter insists I'm the only one who can braid her hair properly. 0% doesn't erase 12 years, but it changes everything. The weeks after that were a blur. We told no one. Emily begged me not to leave. She said she loved me, that she had always loved me. I asked her why she never told me. She said she was afraid. Afraid I would leave. Afraid the kids would lose stability. Afraid the truth would destroy everything. And she was right. It did. I spoke to a lawyer. That's when the financial reality hit. In our state, because I signed the birth certificates and had acted as the legal father for years, I was still responsible. Child support, shared assets, everything. Biology didn't matter legally anymore. I remember sitting in that office thinking, I am legally obligated to children who are not mine biologically, and emotionally incapable of walking away from them. It felt like being trapped between two truths. Eventually, we told the kids. Not everything. Just that Mom and Dad were having problems. My oldest asked if it was because of her. That question nearly destroyed me. No, I said immediately. None of this is because of you. And that was the only thing I was completely certain about. None of this was their fault. People assume anger was the strongest emotion. It wasn't. It was grief. Grief for the life I thought I had. Grief for the genetic connection I imagined. Grief for the version of my wife I believed existed. Trust doesn't shatter loudly. It erodes silently until one day you realize there's nothing left to stand on. 6 months later, we separated. Not because I stopped loving the kids. Not even because I hated Emily. But because I couldn't live with the knowledge that every family photo on our wall was built on a lie. We share custody now. I still go to soccer games. I still help with homework. They still call me Dad. And here's the part people don't expect. I still love them. That didn't change. But something inside me did. A certain innocence is gone. I don't assume permanence anymore. I don't assume loyalty. I don't assume anything without proof. Sometimes people ask if I regret taking the test, if ignorance would have been better. I think about that a lot. If I hadn't clicked that ad, if Darren hadn't made that joke, if curiosity hadn't crept in, would I still be living in a comfortable illusion? Probably. But here's the truth. The DNA test didn't destroy my marriage. It revealed it. The betrayal was already there. The test just gave it a number. 0%. That number used to define what I lost. Now, it defines what I survived. Because fatherhood isn't measured in chromosomes. It's measured in presence. And no lab result can erase the years I showed up. But I'll never forget the moment I saw that first email. Probability of paternity, 0%. That's when my old life ended. And the hardest part, I only took the test because of a joke. If you were in my place, would you have stayed, or would you have walked away?